Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today we're working on the pattern that I sort of tossed together. It was originally just a two-color pattern, and then I wanted to see what would happen if we tried to actually really colorize it, give it six full different colors, and see how much different the whole image would be with that. And it turns out it is strikingly different. Even in the way that it gets made feels very, very different because of before with the two colors, there was a lot of times you could just let it go straight, didn't matter, pink on pink, that's fine. It doesn't matter which direction you do the knot. With six colors, you have to be more accurate. Every knot has to go where it's supposed to go in order for the colors to show up where they're supposed to. So there's a little bit more concentration involved. So it took me just a little bit over an hour to make this bracelet, maybe like an hour and 5 minutes, which is just a little above average. Not too terrible though. I have to say though, I was really so concerned about the change of this that I got kind of worked up with the idea of am I really going to make this now? Shit, can I put it off to later? Just in general anxiety over the idea that this pattern was going to be more complex. But once I got into it, once I got going, it was fine. It really was. It was just my imagination hyping me up into this idea that this is going to be, some kind of difficult something. I don't know. It was a little touch and go at the start, but then it came together, and it's really kind of interesting. The colors I picked were a little bit more pastel, so things like the green, which is what the outer color of this is, has so much yellow in it that it almost looks like it's one of the hot colors, and the red you'll see in a bit turns out to be one of the darkest colors. It almost seems like a cold color by comparison to everything else, and the red dominates the center of this bracelet. So that's kind of neat, because you have all these really bright colors leading up to it. The actual cold colors, the blues and the purples and stuff, are barely used. There's a little bit on the very ends, and then there's a little bit of purple that, like right there, like right in between the red diamonds, there's a touch of purple, and then it makes a bigger diamond in the actual center, and that has a blue dot. So those strings didn't get used much at all. The yellow and the orange were the ones that absolutely got used the most. And yeah, we still weren't anywhere near like running out of the string or anything crazy. But I would be aware, like if I was trying to be real conservative with my string, I would really kind of, be careful with the orange and the yellow, those in particular. The green a bit, that was probably the next in line for what got used the most. But the blue and the purples, like they barely got used at all. The red, a little bit, but not so much. Like, when you pull it out at the very end, you look at the tips of the strings and stuff. It was the red and the yellow by far the biggest difference. So, yeah, so this is just like three different patterns kind of thrown together in a symmetrical way, so that way like they repeat on both sides of the bracelet, which I thought was a kind of a cool kind of novice idea, something that would be kind of fun to make. By the time it gets to like the center and stuff, like the whole middle area with the reds, like that felt pretty cool because it was a bit more like a regular arrowhead. And that was pretty neat. The ends definitely trickier, definitely just the way I set it up. Some of the things, like the way that the orange comes in and like does a partial diamond right on the end of it, like I'm kind of thinking that like maybe I should have just pushed that out just an extra knot further out and have gone with it that way. I don't know. I it's easy to kind of second guess these things and to think that maybe it could be different. It's also probably easy for me to be able to go through and just remake the pattern and try it a new way. I'm just not sure I really want to, because we kind of did it, right? Like, I don't know. I will think about it. It's a possibility. If my YouTube members ask me to, I will. Oh, speaking of, wow, we're way past the middle. I almost forgot to thank these guys, because really they are what keep the channel going, and I don't know what I would do without their support. So thank you guys so much for this support, for the helping me to get string and the lighting and the microphone and all the stuff that really makes this channel happen. So thank you guys so much for that. Yeah, see that little singular almost diamond at the end of the orange there? Like, I could have pushed it out and had like a regular diamond, like the next part that's about to happen, like right in here. It could have been just like that instead, and I think it would have made the strings a little bit easier with the whole what happened with it. So I don't know. It seemed interesting at the time, and now I like I said, I kind of second guess it. I kind of wonder if we had done that differently, how cool would it have looked. Mind you, it would have pushed the whole thing down a row, so then the dots at the end would have been different. So there's always a trade-off. There's always, if you do this, then something else will get affected. So yeah, this is already getting down into the end. This is where it gets a little bit weird with the dotted part. And you can still see I'm still trying to segment not what I can, but also trying to keep it on track so I can kind of see where I am, because it is like the end of the bracelet. And yeah. So hey, you made it through the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, maybe you could hit that like button. That would be awesome. And of course, as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.